Hello, BookTube. I'm Peg, and welcome to my channel. I wanted to talk about today a French prize that read enough French I've put the website below for it, and I can read enough that I know what the prize contenders are because they're in English. But this is for the best translated novel into French. Like we have several best translated novels into English here, so this is the other way around. Now, the strange thing is I wasn't following this earlier, but when the shortlist came out, they were all books translated from English. That I would appreciate it if some of you French readers and speakers would take a look at this website and see if the long list had any contenders from other languages. It just seems kind of anti-diverse to choose them all from English. But anyway, the good part was that I could tell even by the French names what the books were, and they're all ones we've heard about. Some of them, most of them have won prizes in English, and so I thought it'd be interesting to talk about the novels that seem to appeal to the French literary people, readers, and they're kind of strange because some of them won different prizes in both in England and the U.S., but they're all distinctly different, I would say, and have distinct settings where they are, and talk about the culture. Anyway, so without further ado, now the prize has already been awarded, and I'm going to save the prize itself till the end because it was, to me, really surprising which one they chose. But I'll just go through the ones that were on the short list. The first one is LaRose by Louise Erdrich. Now, the author is a Native American, and as many of her books are about Native American culture, this takes place in that culture, and it's the story of a man that has a son and he is out deer hunting and accidentally shoots the son of his neighbor. Thinks it's a deer, and what follows, evidently it's tradition in that culture. If something like that happens, he has to give his son to the guy whose son he accidentally killed, and the story thereof. So actually this was a prize-winning book. It won the Book Critics Circle Award, which is coming up soon, and I'll be talking about this year soon. But and it was also on the I believe, nope, that's it. It was just won the one. Okay. But anyway, so it was well known. I'm sure a lot of you have probably read it. Interesting, the different covers. This is the cover. I don't know if it's the French cover or what, but it actually has the deer in kind of a impressionistic painting style. I love that cover. And the other cover is, I think maybe the English cover or the paperback cover. Anyway, I just always like to look at all the covers to different books. Okay, the next one on their list was White Tears. I'm going to show the other cover, which shows up a little better. I kind of like this one better for some reason. This is by Hari Kunzri, and I have to tell you, this comes with excellent references, because Sean the Book Maniac, I'm sure you all know him, actually liked this, and not only did he not bail on it, the famous bailer Sean, but he wants to read it again. And so this definitely has high recommendations. I actually read it too, and I felt the same way. I just need to read it again. I'm sure a lot of people feel that way. But basically, it's about two men in New York who collect old recordings, old record recordings, and it goes into some of the blues of the 1950s, the blues singers, and kind of segues time-wise a little back and forth. And really, the setting and the atmosphere and the mood is very interesting in this. Oh, here's another one of the foreign pictures. You can't see very well, but it kind of shows an old time bar or something where I guess you'd be having music like that. Okay, the next one is The Argonauts by Maggie Nelson. And this, I guess, is a novelized memoir of a love story between the author and the artist Harry Dodge, who was fluidly gendered, and actually was nominated for the National Book Critics Circle, which is coming up, as I said, and it also for the Rathbones Folio Prize, a new prize for me. I'll have to look that one up. I can't stand to not know about all the prizes. Okay, so that one was definitely non-traditional, kind of interesting. Here's another cover for it. I'm confused as to which was paperback, which was which, but as I said, I like to look at them all. Okay, and the next one, The Ministry of Upmost Happiness, by Arunda Roy. This was actually on our Booker long list, and it kind of had divided reviews. People seem to either love it or hate it, or not hate it, but not love it. And it's her first novel that she had read in written in 20 years, her last being The God of Small Things, which won the Booker Award. So there were a lot of high expectations for this, and it was longlisted again on the Man Booker list. Okay, so those are the ones that didn't win the French prize. Let's see what did. Okay, let's see. Come on. It was Paul Auster's 4321. This is, I think, probably the English cover, because the U.S. cover was just kind of black with white writing, and I thought this crowd scene was more interesting on their cover. Anyway, it was actually on the short list for the Man Booker Award, and was talked about by many people here on BookTube and otherwise. Nobody really hated it, but a lot of people had a hard time finishing it. As you probably know, it was a story of four stories of the same boy growing up. He was born on the same day or year as Paul Auster, so I'm sure it had some autobiography in there. And of the four different things happened in his life, which kind of changed his whole life in the four different stories. And people really seemed to find it interesting, but couldn't quite get through to the end. It was maybe 1,000 pages. Anyway, so I was the same way. I really liked it, but all of a sudden I was kind of dragging. But interesting, and I did read that the French have always loved Paul Auster. Now, I can understand why they might have liked his earlier kind of postmodern novels. I think he wrote a trilogy called The Glass City on New York, and it was quite experimental at the time, and I can see them liking that. I wonder how many of them actually finished this. Okay, so that's the prize for today. Again, if anybody here can read French well, take a look at the website and find out if you can find what others were nominated for the long list, and if they too were all in English. So anyway, I'm continuing with my Man Booker reading, and I'll be back to report on some of it later. Bye.